The bracket doesn't lie. Ole Miss moving on in the College World Series. And last night, everyone was excited about the win, well, except for Arkansas fans. The roof was ripped off of a home here on Mound Road, and you can see the roof sitting in their front yard. We decided to come inside and cool off a little bit, and what better way to cool off than inside of an antique fort? You can see the police lights behind me here. Capitol Police are blocking off several roads. The Jackson State Tigers are off to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. And fans, how you feeling this morning? A lot of damage was done here at Holmes Community College in Goodman. You can see here behind me, a power line fell. With less than a month left in Richards Disposal's emergency contract, the Mississippi Supreme Court ruled that it wasn't a valid contract. This may not look like much progress to some, but the city of Rolling Fork has come a long way with cleanup efforts. One of the biggest issues in his State of the State address and in the Democratic response was the crisis that Mississippi's rural hospitals are now facing. There's a baseball game going on the replica field of the former home of the College World Series, the Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium. Now, this game is just for fun, of course, but a few miles down the road over at Charles Schwab, Ole Miss hasn't lost a game yet. Activists say that crime is a serious issue in Jackson, but they argue that House Bill 1020 could do more harm than good. Residents hope to see an end to the decades-long water crisis in the near future, especially while the city still has access to state and federal resources. The National Weather Service says an EF4 tornado hit Sharkey County.
It just was a disaster,
leaving Rolling Fork unrecognizable as homes and businesses are now just piles of debris. Residents are left trying to process their new reality. Dominique Smith's mother, Ophelia Stewart, lived in a mobile home. Her home and belongings are scattered across the neighborhood.
The lot is empty where her house is. You'll see the bedroom over here. We're finding things from our bedroom here. The kitchen is here. The living room is over here under the truck and the tree.
Stewart lost some friends in the storm and believes she would have lost her life too if she didn't take shelter at a neighbor's house.
This tornado that came through here, if I had been in that house, I would have died. I had neighbors behind me died, you know. So I'm just thankful to be here.
When disaster strikes, Cowboy Dave travels there to help uplift the community. He's currently in Rolling Fork, leaving positive messages on the debris.
I try to communicate with the community that I go into, let them know what I'm about, because I'm misunderstood. People think I'm selling a book or got a blog or blah, blah, blah. I cover my own expenses, and I go ahead of disasters usually and put up encouragement, because the people need to see that apart from an agency or apart from anything. It just needs to appear.
As the community prepares to begin rebuilding, residents wonder if Rolling Fork will be able to fully recover.
It'll be a long time before they get it rebuilt, but I don't think it will never be the same. Rolling Fork never will be the same.
25-year-old Rasheem Carter of Fayette was contracted to work in Smith County last year. Carter went missing in October after texting his mother that his life was in danger.
He said, "Me and the owner of this company not seeing eye to eye, mama." His name, which I can't say at this time, but if anything happened to me, he's responsible for it. I'm too smart, mama. He got these guys wanting to kill me. And that's what he sent to me.
Attorneys say there was an attempt to use Carter's credit card in Taylorsville while he was missing. A month after his disappearance, some of his remains were found in Smith County.
His head was severed from his body. His vertebrae, his spinal cord, was in another spot they discovered away from his severed head. They have recently found remains that they believe are also Rasheem Carter.
The Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office was not able to determine a cause of death because some of Carter's remains were in an advanced state of decomposition. Attorney Carlos Moore called it one of the most disturbing cases of his lifetime.
I've been a Mississippian for all 46 years of my life, and I've never heard of a crime this horrific in my life. I was not living during the time of Emmett Till. I heard about that and read about it in the history books, but I thought we had progressed in Mississippi.
The Smith County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation, and the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is assisting, but his family says more needs to be done, so attorneys sent a letter asking the U.S. Department of Justice to get involved.
We need the highest levels of law enforcement to administer justice for Rasheem Carter as if he was your child.
The Smith County Sheriff says he's waiting for the findings from search warrants to come back. He also says he welcomes the involvement of the Department of Justice. Ole Miss fans have really been supporting throughout the week, especially today. Game attendance was at 25,000, and most of those seats were filled with Ole Miss fans excited to be a part of history today.
The real question let the Lambs get hard?
This time last year, Mississippi State won the College World Series, and now another Mississippi team is bringing home the national championship trophy.
It just feels good to trump Mississippi State any day of the week, but it's a great thing for the school because we spend a lot of money on facilities, and we go over and beyond for our team.
For the first time ever, Ole Miss baseball won the College World Series after barely making it into the tournament.
Hotty toddy!
Woo, 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 woo! Hotty toddy! Woo! Number one, baby!
It's a moment that fans have been waiting their whole lives for.
We've been waiting 25 years for this.
I've been waiting for it for 40 years as a Rebel fan. Never thought I'd see it.
They are extremely proud of the team and head coach Mike Bianco. It's a day that fans say they'll never forget. Along with the trophy, some players also decided to bring a little bit of dirt from the pitcher's mound home to remember the historic day. The city council meeting today only went on for about 10 minutes, but the mayor stayed for nearly an hour after talking to residents. Our tensions did flare, and there were some outbursts between frustrated citizens and city council members.
They never should have put those trucks over there on the airport property. They never should have put them trucks.
$100 million contract. That's what's on the table. 10 years in the city of Jackson. We'll call you city council, and my ward people call me.
There was an item on the agenda to vote on awarding Richards Disposal a 6-year contract, but it was taken off by Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba, citing pending litigation from Richards for denial of a rightful bid. The city clerk says the garbage dispute has cost the city over $220,000 in legal fees, and there's only about $400 more in that account.
All the legal activity we've been through, the Chancery Court system, we've been through the federal court system, we've been to the state Supreme Court. All of that costs money to litigate on both sides, and that's where all that money's gone. It's gone because the mayor went off on a outside the law to pursue his vendor.
From day one, it has never been about ego for me, right? And so the only thing that I'm loyal to is a process that protects us as citizens, right, from the harmful effects of contract steering.
Mayor Lumumba says he will meet with the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality on Wednesday to discuss possible plans until a contract is in place. Now, there's also still a hearing set for next Monday in the Hinds County Chancery Court, where council members are asking for permission to continue negotiations with other vendors without the mayor. We decided to come inside and cool off a little bit, and what better way to cool off than inside of an antique Ford? This vehicle right here, from the 1920s, pretty cool, and there's plenty more vehicles that we can look at here. There's about 50 cars inside at the Antique Car Show, and all of them ranging from 1920s to the 1980s, and every single vehicle in here, get this, every single one is drivable. They drove all of these cars into the fairgrounds for the show. Now, it's the perfect place to come cool off. Families, people of all ages, they say they love it. I mean, there's Fords, Corvettes, Oldsmobiles, and like I said, every single one is running. And it's also for a good cause. So you can pick your favorite car, pay $1, and then vote for which one's your favorite, and that dollar will go to supporting Children's of Mississippi. So great fun, all for a good cause, and free admission. Live in Jackson, Leah Williams, 12 News.